Hey everyone, it's Kaycie, and today we're going to go through a stretching and mobilizing class, and the full emphasis is going to be on the shoulders. So expect some strength building within our range of motion, as well as releasing into some more flexibility within our shoulders. So we're going to jump right on in. No props are needed, just you, your body, your mat. Let's make our way to child's pose. In child's pose, the knees can go wide or together. It's your choice. Big toes connect, let the hips sink back. Spine relaxes forward and down, melting the forehead towards the floor. I'm gonna lift my head just a little bit for more clarity in my words, but you go ahead and relax as best as you're able to here. Let the shoulders melt, let the elbows drop. Relaxing all the way down to the forearms, the wrists, the hands, and the fingertips. 3 deep breaths together to help us feel a little more connected with our bodies. Exhale, let your breath empty out of your lungs. Through the nose, slow breath in. Expand your belly all the way up into your mid-torso, all the way up into your shoulders and your chest. Hold at the top of the breath, fully open in all directions throughout the torso. And then open the mouth and exhale, let it all the way out. Again, slow breath in through the nose, breathe into the belly, the ribs, all the way up into your chest and your shoulders. Feel the sides expand, the back holding at the top. Keep the breath through the nose. Exhale, empty out your chest. Empty out your ribs. Empty all the way out through your belly. One more here. Inhale into the belly. Into the rib cage. Lift it all the way up into your chest and shoulders. Everything is open. Through the nose, exhale from the top. All the way back down and out through the bottom. Now relax your breath a little bit here, but still allow it to be full, conscious, mindful breathing. Arms begin to extend in front of you while staying in your child's pose. So arms go long, elbows begin to lift off the ground, and then come up onto the fingertips as though you're lifting your palms up away from the floor, tenting up onto your fingertips. You can walk them a little closer towards each other. And then press your fingertips down into the ground. And as you press your fingers down, feel the activation, lift up your shoulders into the upper arms. Long spine, deep breath in, and then walk your fingertips off to the right side, coming into a nice little side stretch. You can walk as far over to the right as you'd like while keeping your hips sinking down. Maybe the left hand walks all the way over to meet the right hand. And then with your fingers pressing into the ground, imagine trying to press your fingers to the left. And just feel a little bit of that side body activation. And then slowly walk everything back to center, nice long spine. Take a deep breath in here. And then exhale, walk your hands all the way off to that left side. Settling in, maintain your breath nice and smooth. Maybe walk your right fingertips over to meet the left. Keep the hips sinking back and down towards your heels. They don't have to touch, just a general direction. And then as your fingers press down, imagine trying to pull your fingers back to the front of your mat, over to the right for 3, 2, and 1. Walking your hands all the way back through to center. Gently rock your weight up into a tabletop position, stacking shoulders over wrists, fingers spread wide, hips over your knees. Give yourself a little bit of wrist circles here. As you roll over your wrists, big circular motion, squeeze into the fingertips and the base of the fingers. And then switch directions, opposite way. We'll give a little extra love into the wrists. Walk the hands a little closer to the knees and see if you can flip lift the palms up, fingers pointing towards the knees. Walk them back towards the knees as much as you need to. And then maybe stay here, maybe lean a little weight back. Bring it forward, flip the palms back down, walk them back out, and one hand at a time, just kind of lift and shake it out. Okay, now we're gonna work into the shoulders a little bit more here. So with a neutral spine, you're gonna slowly start to drop your chest and feel your shoulder blades kind of lifting up and towards each other. Imagine you're trying to pinch like a grape between your shoulder blades. And then you're gonna press to the hands and you're gonna round your upper back and shoulders. Try to keep the rest of the spine neutral. We're not doing full cat-cows. We're just keeping this motion in the shoulders. And then inhale, drop the chest, shoulder blades retract, pulling back towards each other. And then press through the palms and round your upper back. Feel that protraction. Okay, one more. Shoulder blades pull back on the inhale, pinching towards each other as the chest drops. And then exhaling, pressing, slight rounding, broadening the shoulder blades. Now I want you to think about shoulder shrugs. So if your shoulders pinch up towards your ears, and then pull them back as you drop your chest and roll the shoulders down. We're gonna create these circular motions. So slowly start to drop the shoulders, pull them forward and up towards the ears. Drop the chest as you pull the shoulder blades down, and then come back up. And then just find these big circular motions. I kind of like to bend the elbows a little bit, especially as I'm pressing to the floor to round and lift. Take one more round and just try to feel it out for yourself as best as you can. Nice, and then lower down onto the forearms. Walk the knees back, lower down onto the hips, the bellies, untuck the toes. Okay, we're gonna go through a little bit of shoulder opening as well as some activating. So left arm reaches to the left side, palm is down. Right hand is gonna go underneath the right shoulder, almost like a push-up position with the right hand. Elbow is bent. Bend the right knee, and you're gonna press and roll onto your left side. See if you can let the right foot drop to the ground behind you, otherwise just rest it on top. And then relax the head as best as you're able. Rolling the heart open, rolling the entire front of your body open. So you're getting a nice opening into your chest as well into the shoulder. Maybe stay here using your right hand to press into the floor to open. Maybe your right arm is able to drop around into your lower back. Give yourself a few breaths. Just enjoy letting yourself melt open. One more here. Now, if you're fully maxed out, I want you to come out just a little bit. So think about 80% of the fullest extent of this posture. You can either keep the right hand behind you or you can bring the hand back in front of you, whatever your choice is. But this arm that's out to the side, your left arm, I want you to press the arm down into the ground, press the hand down into the ground. And I want you to imagine that you're trying to press through that left arm as though you're trying to press and roll back onto your belly, but you're not gonna let yourself roll onto your belly. You're gonna hold yourself into place while pressing that left arm firmly down into the ground, and hold it here for 3. If it's too much, back off. 2, 1, and then relax. Slowly roll all the way back over onto your belly, onto your hips, and we'll switch sides. Right arm's gonna reach to the right with the palm down, left hand underneath the left shoulder, coming into that half push-up type position. Bending into the left knee, and then press and roll over onto your right hip this time, just letting the left foot touch to the ground or rest on top. Rest your right cheek or the side of the head, and then really focus on trying to open up the front of your body, opening up the chest, the ribs, the front of the hips as much as you can. You can either keep the left hand to the ground in front of you, or you can take your left hand and drop it around into your lower back, which also adds a little internal rotation of that top shoulder as you open up into this space here. So go ahead and give yourself just a few breaths as you let yourself kind of melt into your body's flexibility here. And then your left hand can either stay behind you or you can bring it in front of you, whatever you'd like. If the hand in front of you helps you to stabilize better, take this, okay? Now I want you to press your right arm, the one that's still out to the side, press it into the ground. If you need to back off a little bit, do so. And as you press your right hand into the ground, imagine you're trying to press through it to draw yourself back onto your bellies, but you're not gonna move. You're just pressing your right arm into the floor and hold here. Feel the activation for 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Slowly roll all the way back over onto your bellies and your hips. And then let's come up onto the forearms. As you come up onto the forearms, we're gonna cross the right forearm in front of the left forearm, and the fingers are gonna point away from each other. So I'm gonna turn towards you here just so it's a little easier to see. So right in front of the left, fingers pointing out to the sides, and then slowly just start to walk the fingers out away from each other as much as you can, and try to lower yourself down onto your arms. It doesn't matter how far they walk, but try to keep them nice and level as you melt down. Give yourself a few breaths. One more breath here. Head lifts up. Now, however far you've walked your arms away from each other, I want you to walk them about halfway closer towards each other. And at that halfway point, your hands are gonna press down into the ground, and imagine pulling your hands towards each other. So my right hand's trying to pull to the left, and my left hand's trying to pull to the right, and I'm feeling that activation into my shoulders. If you wanna walk the hands a little farther apart and try that again, you can kind of feel into your range of motion. This is where you build that mobility. For 3, 2, 1. Relax. Walk the elbows back, switching sides. Left forearm in front of the right forearm, fingers pointing away, and then start to slowly walk your hands away from each other as much as you can, and then just let yourself drape over your arms. Take a few deep breaths in this position. Relax as best as you can. Head lifts up, and then walking your arms about halfway closer, or you can play with the placement. Find that range of motion for yourself. And with the palms down, press the forearms and palms into the ground, and imagine pulling the ground towards each other. So you're pulling your hands towards one another. And feel the activation for 3. You might feel a little shaken. 2. And 1. Go ahead and relax. And as you open up the elbows, go ahead and just let your arms down to your sides and let one side of your face drop to the mat. Relax here for a breath. And then switch your head to the other side. One breath here. Okay, head back to center. This time we're gonna take the arms forward in front of you. And with the arms forward, thumbs are gonna go up. Now this one is gonna work strictly mobility. So if your shoulders are just super tight, you might not get much movement away from the ground. But as long as you're working on lifting your arms away from the ground the whole time, even if they're on the ground, you're still gonna be working the same muscles, which will over time get stronger and more open, and you'll find more progress. So start wherever you are, okay? So head down. I'm gonna lift my head slightly just so you can hear me a little bit better, but with the arms forward, thumbs are up. Keep the legs pressing into the ground. Slowly begin to lift your arms away from the ground as much as you can, even if that's just activating and trying to lift. And then slowly start to open the arms out straight from the shoulders, palms down, keep them lifted. And then take the arms down to your sides, feel your thumbs roll down. And then start to bend the elbows, palms flip up, and start to draw the arms up the back as high as you can. If you can keep them from touching the back, great. If they touch the back, just try not to let yourself sink into the back. And then slowly take the arms back down to the sides until the arms straighten, thumbs down. Arms directly out from the shoulders, palms down, arms over your head, thumbs up, and then let them settle back down to the ground. Okay, we're gonna do that one more time. Nice mobility into the shoulders. So keep the legs grounded, head down. Begin to lift the arms up, thumbs up. Breathe. Take the arms to the sides, palms down. All the way down towards the legs, thumbs down. Then bend the elbows, palms up, and then slowly start to draw the hands up the back with the arms bent. Take the arms down to your sides, rotate the thumbs down. Arms out from the shoulders, palms down. Arms overhead, thumbs up. And then drop the arms back down, okay? Walk the hands underneath your shoulders, and then slowly press tabletop position and a quick child's pose. Just let yourself sink back, relax your spine, and just take a breath here. Okay, so we're gonna move into a little more strength building into the shoulders. This one can be pretty intense, so don't feel defeated. I want you to feel empowered by watching that progress over time. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be going from a forearm plank position into what's called dolphin. And dolphin is a really intense shoulder strengthener, but also a nice little opener. Okay, so we're gonna build some strength and then we'll melt into that. So from tabletop position, lower your forearms to the ground. And what's really important here is that your elbows don't go wider than your shoulders. I want you to keep them stacked underneath the shoulders, and I want you to feel this sense of drawing them towards one another. And that's just gonna keep them more stable. What we're really doing is we're fighting that urge for them to start slowly drifting away from each other. So we're just magnetizing them towards each other to keep them parallel, okay? So palms down, elbows shoulder width, nice and active. And then I want you to press into your elbows so that you're not collapsing into your shoulders, you're pressing and lifting up and out of the shoulders, away from the ground. Okay, now keep that. Slowly extend the legs back and find this nice forearm plank position. Trying to keep the hips level with the torso. The core is nice and engaged. Now keep pressing into the elbows, lifting away from the ground, and then you're gonna slowly start to walk the feet closer and closer. Now, if the hamstrings are tight, you might not be able to walk very far. If the shoulders are tight, you might not be able to walk very far. But you can let your head drop. You're just not resting the head on the ground, so the head is still free. If the head is able to drop to the ground, chances are your elbows have drifted too far apart. Elbows shoulder width, squeezing them in and pressing them down. Walk the feet in as much as you can, and if you can, come up onto the tippy toes and feel your hips lift up and over the shoulders. Keep pressing down, holding here, and then walk the feet back. Drop the knees, quick little child's pose. We're gonna go through that one more time. Okay, come back to tabletop, lower the forearms down to the ground, elbows directly underneath your shoulders, And then walk the feet back, extend them back with the toes tucked, coming into a nice forearm plank position. Core is tight, the belly button hugs up and in, press down through the elbows, hug them in slightly, and then slowly start to walk your feet in. Let the head drop, take tension out of the neck, and walk the feet in as much as you can. Don't collapse into your shoulders. Press your elbows into the ground, squeeze them towards each other. Maybe come up onto the tippy toes. If you can't breathe, you've gone too far. Back off. 3, 2, 1. Walk the feet back, drop the knees. Nice little child's pose here for a moment. Okay, so as you can see, that brings a lot of activation into the shoulders, but also requires a good amount of opening into the shoulders. So if it felt really tight, just stick with it. We're gonna come into a nice stretch now into that same area. So walk yourself towards the back of the mat from tabletop position, and then slowly walking the hands forward in front of you. Let the sit bones tilt up towards the ceiling, and then you're gonna melt the chest towards the ground. And as the chest melts down, you might stay up pretty high, that's okay. You might sink really low, that's also okay. If you need to drop the elbows, you can, and if you need to widen the hands apart, you can. And just hold here for a few deep breaths. Try to let your heart melt towards the ground. Maybe your forehead drops, maybe your chin drops. Take 2 more deep breaths. Slowly rock forward onto the forearms. Come back up onto the hands nice and slowly, tabletop position. And then round your upper back, your shoulders, draw the chin to your chest, tuck your tail, taking a cat position. Hold here for an extra breath just to get that counter stretch into the shoulders. And then we'll move a little deeper into a curl. So come back to neutral and let's sit back onto the feet here for a moment. So we are going to interlace the fingers behind the back. If being able to interlace the fingers and extend the arms does not feel doable, then grab a strap or anything that you can hold between your hands to get the arms extended. It's okay to have space between the hands. Grab what you need, extend the arms. So I'm going to give you some options here. You can either just curl your chin to your chest and round your back, staying here and pulling your arms away from the back, or chin to your chest, keep curling your spine until maybe your head touches the floor. Keep the chin to the chest and then roll up onto the crown of your head and feel the arms stretching away from your back over your head. You don't have to come all the way down to the ground. Stick wherever it feels good for you. 2 more deep breaths. Hips drop all the way back down as you pull through the knuckles. Come all the way back up to a nice seated position. Release the hands. Pull the shoulders forward and up towards the ears. Exhale, roll them all the way back and down. Let's do that one more time. Roll the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, roll them all the way back and down. Okay. Let's find our way back into that tabletop position, coming onto hands and knees. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna face you just for the sake of being able to see a little bit better of what I'm doing. Kick your right leg out to the right side. And then you're gonna slowly walk your hands closer until you can come all the way up into what's called gate pose. So in gate pose, try to get the hip to stack right over that knee. Right hand is going to drop down towards the right thigh. Left arm up. And then walk your right fingertips down the leg. Try not to press into the knee joint itself, either above or below. And then stretch that left arm overhead, getting a nice stretch all the way from your side up to your shoulder, into your arm, all the way out to your fingertips. Try to roll the ribs and chest open. One more breath. Inhale, come up with that left arm, and then drop the left hand all the way down to that left side. Try to get it so that your shoulder is right over that wrist, or walk the wrist slightly forward, okay? Now, from here, right arm is gonna stretch up high. I'm gonna give you two options here. Option number one, float the right foot off the ground and just work a little bit of balance and stability. Keep pressing into your left hand, nice and strong through the shoulder. Other option is to keep the foot down and see if you can press that back foot and that front hand into the ground and maybe be able to hover that bottom left knee. One more breath wherever you are. Keep pressing the ground away with that left hand so you're lifting up and open out of it. If the knee is up, bring it back down. If the foot is lifted, bring it back down. Slowly lower your right hand to the ground and walk your hands all the way back around to center. And then sweep the right knee back to meet the other. Let's do the other side. Left leg kicks out to the left. Walk the hands back until you can come all the way up into a nice gate pose. Left hand is gonna drop down to your left thigh. Right arm is gonna reach up, and then walk the hand down. Avoid the knee joint as you stretch the right arm over your head. Once again, feel the stretch from your hip, down your side, through the armpit, all the way down the arm to the fingertips. One more breath. Coming all the way up with the right arm and spine, and then drop your right hand down to the ground, plant the palm, bring it slightly forward of the shoulder, and then left arm reaches up. Same two options are available. First option is floating the left leg, working a little balance and stability. Second option, press to that back foot and your front hand. See if you can hover your right knee. Wherever you are, holding for 3, 2, keep pressing the ground away, 1, and then drop the knee or drop the foot if it's lifted. Left hand comes down. Walk your hands back around to center. Left knee comes back, and then make your way into a comfortable seated position. Okay, we're gonna finish off with one of my favorite kind of strengtheners, but also it really helps to build some extra mobility into the shoulders. So we're working towards eagle arms, okay? Now that can be a really tight position for the shoulders to move into, and we already moved into it from our bellies essentially, okay? So we're gonna try it a little bit differently without the leverage of the floor. We're gonna set up kind of with an initial starting point, and then we'll build on from there. So arms forward, palms up. Make sure your arms are the same height of your shoulders. And then you're gonna bend your elbows and try to draw the elbows towards each other. Now, maybe they don't touch. That's okay, I want you to keep trying. If they do touch and you get the whole arms to touch, the forearms, make sure they stay the height of the shoulders. If you want a little bit more, open up the hands and inner forearms and keep pressing the elbows in. Wherever you are, hold for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax, roll the shoulders. So if you're working towards eagle pose, but your elbows aren't still able to touch each other, I want you to stay in that variation. Over time, that activation is what's going to help you to be able to find that mobility and flexibility to get into the actual stretch itself. Okay, so we're gonna go through this 2 more times. I'm gonna add options on, but you're more than welcome to stick with that first option and work where you are. Arms forward, palms up, bend your elbows, height of the shoulders. Draw them towards each other. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. If they touch only, I want you to lift your right forearm a little higher, and then you're gonna cross your right elbow over the top of your left. Right elbow over the top, okay? And then if it crosses, maybe bring the backs of your hands to touch, or weave the front of the palms to touch to each other. Squeeze your elbows towards each other and make sure they're the height of the shoulders. Wherever you are, keep squeezing for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and gently release. Roll the shoulders a little bit here, forward, up, back and down. Okay, One more round. Option to do the other side or stick where you are. Right side and left side aren't always the same as well, okay? Arms forward, palms up. Bend the elbows, height of the shoulders, squeeze them in. Option to stay here, or left forearm up and over the right. If left forearm comes up and over the right, maybe the backs of the hands touch, maybe the front of the palms touch. Squeeze your elbows in wherever you are, height of your shoulders. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Gently release. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back and down a couple times. Okay, and then we're just gonna close out with a couple nice deep breaths. So close the eyes, spine up tall. Exhale, let your breath all the way out. Take a slow breath in through the belly, through the ribs, all the way up into your chest. Hold the breath. Feel the expansion through the shoulder blades. And then open your mouth and exhale, let it out. One more time, slow breath into the belly, to the ribs, all the way up into your chest. Feel your shoulders. Holding here if you can, sip in a little more air. And then open your mouth and exhale, let it out. Relax your breath and allow yourself to be still just for a few moments. Hands joined together at your heart. Thank your bodies for all that they do. And thank you so much for allowing me to guide you today. Namaste. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope your shoulders are feeling great right now. I know some of the postures might have been a little challenging, but once again, use it as inspiration, not as defeat. This is an all progressive practice. It never ends. There's always something to build upon. So let me know in the comments how you liked it, share with someone in need, and don't forget to hit subscribe. I'll see y'all soon. Thanks so much.